welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am going to show you this makeover I did on my friend Khalydri. I wanted to bring you guys something different with a different skin tone from a makeover. So here it is, inspired on Valentine's Day. So if you want to learn how accurate this look, please keep on watching. So here's the before and after, and let's begin by using an eye primer. I'm using here the Lemonade eye primer by Benefit Cosmetics. For the brows, I used my Precisely my brow pencil from Benefit as well in the shade number 6, and I'm just applying it all over the eye with a flat brush. And then I'm using a beauty blender to just blend it out to just make sure there is no harsh lines and the primer is really well spread out throughout the eye. Then I'm going to grab the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Edition palette, which is one of my favorites, and I'm using Sandalwood on the crease. I'm going to grab this shadow first, and I'm going to use my 224 brush by MAC doing windshield wiper motion and applying this right from the outer corner of the eye to the outer corner of the eye. As you can see, I'm using the tip of the brush and really blending these products, so I don't want no harsh lines. You want to make sure, even if you want to lift a little bit the eye or just like put your finger right right on top of the brow to just lift that eyelid and just make sure it gives you a little bit more precision. You can do that, or I like to do that myself. And I am just taking my time to blend because blending is a key. The other tip I can give you is make your model open up their eyes, or your client look straight up, and so that way you can see where the natural eye just falls and you can concentrate the color a little bit better or just blend that a little bit better. The next palette I'm going to use is the palette by Mario from Anastasia Beverlyhills, and I'm using the shade Muse to apply it all over the lid with a flat brush and really doing the dabbing motions instead of like rubbing the shadow, because this will create like a lot more fallouts if you already have the foundation applied. I did not have it apply yet, so that way I was like whatever, but if you want to be more careful once you apply the foundation, you want to make sure you dab. Then I use the shade Isabel to blend right where those two shadows meet just a little bit. I grab a little bit of that matte shadow, and then I actually forgot to show you, I grabbed the other shadow next to the shadow Isabel, which is Violetta, and I basically just started to apply it on the outer part of the eye. This brush, I'm not sure which brand it is because it rubbed off the brush, but this reminds me a lot of the MAC brush. I believe it's the 117, but I'll list all the brushes down below as well. And you want to just dab the color and also blend it a little bit right only on the outer part of the eye. And then once you do that, you want to go ahead and grab that black eyeshadow from the Huda Beauty palette, or any black shadow, and apply it on the outer part of the eye to just make sure it creates more depth on the eye. So I started, as you can see, with a lighter brown shade, but then I built it up to a more dark shade, so that way it gives you more depth without looking harsh, and it just creates that nice smoked out effect. And as you can see, I'm making my model just open up her eyes, so I kind of like know exactly where to place the color of how is it going, and just trying to match it to the other side. Next, I had to grab the shade Flamed from the Huda Beauty palette because it's absolutely gorgeous, and I actually just apply this straight with my finger because it is truly beautiful when you apply it with your finger. It gives you better application, and it just gives you this beautiful finish, and it just glides very nicely on the eye than when I use a brush, and it's easier to blend onto the eye. Then I just the 224 brush from MAC, I grabbed it and I just blend out the edges very softly because I didn't want that glitter to go all over the eye. And then I went back to that brush that didn't have a brand, and just like kind of like apply a little bit more of that brown. So you really want to play with the brushes, going back and forth, so you get the nice blending going on. So don't be afraid to go back with brushes and use a small brush for more detailing, and then a bigger brush for more blending, okay, to avoid any harsh lines. Then I went back to just add a little bit of more of that blinged color onto just the pupil of the eye, where you can touch it, like you can see it's popping. That's where you want to apply like most of the highlight. So once you close your eyes, it just really gives you that gorgeous glow. Then I went back to this more detailed brush and then accentuated more of the outer part of the eye. So it really, I was taking my time with this look. Next, I am moving on to liner, and I don't know why I was forgetting to show you guys the products that I use, but I use the Inglot Gel Liner, which is one of my favorites. Super dark, is like, honestly, it's like bulletproof. It doesn't move. It is amazing, but it's really hard to work with because once it dries, you cannot take it back. So you just want to make sure you're really precise. And I used a brush from Motives. This is an angle brush from Motives. It's just their angle brush. It doesn't have a number. And then I just basically was just trying to match it to the other side. And that's it. So once you do that, once you apply the liner, you want to go ahead and make your model look to the other side to just make sure, like, to the opposite side of the inner corner of the eye, so that way you can really get in that inner part of the eye, and it's way easier. Next, it's time for some lashes, and I apply I Need You Violet Voss eyelashes, and I am going to clean up underneath the eye with a little bit of moisturizer. Then I use the Rose Gold Elixir by First Sally, and I applied it right on her cheekbones and just a little bit of the excess right all over the side of her face, because I just wanted to give her that nice glowing finish. And she did say she was more on the drier side. Now for the foundation, I used the Matchmaster in the shade number 7, but I also used the Ultra Stick foundation from Lancome just to give her more of a bronze and the contour and all that good stuff. So I just blend everything out, and then after I put her foundation, I'm gonna move on to concealer. I used the Pro Longwear by MAC as well in the shade NW30, and I applied it right underneath her eyes with the same beauty blender. And I use also a flat brush to just make sure I get to those corners, since I already had applied her eye makeup and all that stuff. So I just make sure that everything was well blended. Next, let's move on to the stick foundation that I was talking to you guys about, and I am just using this to contour her face and give her a little bit more of that bronze look, also to contour her nose. And this is just gonna bring back life to her face. For the brush that I'm using to blend in everything is the stippling brush by Crown Brush. I'm going to list all the numbers down below, and I just love Crown brushes. They're very affordable. I've been using them for so long. Even when I first started my makeup kit, this was the first company that I purchased online, affordable brushes, and I still have some, and it's been over like 4 or 5 years, and they're in amazing condition. Now to blend in the nose contour, I use just a regular like fluffy brush, kind of like the 224 from MAC. I'll list all the numbers down below just to make sure it's well precise blended and not all over. So now for the setting powder, I use the Kat Von D new setting powders that this is called the golden powder. It comes like in a little bottle in a little pot, and I also use a little bit of that blending brush, that setting powder, to accentuate the highlight of her nose, the bridge of her nose. For the under eye, let's finish up the under eye, and I'm gonna be using the Lasting Drama waterproof eye pencil from Maybelline, which are one of my favorite pencils to use for the waterline, because they're amazing. They're so pigmented, they glide on very smoothly, and they're like waterproof. And then I am going to use the same shade Muse right on her lower lash line from the Master Palette by Mario. And also I'm using now a little bit of that black eyeshadow from the Huda Beauty palette right on the outer part of the eye to just make sure I give it that nice smoked out effect. Now I'm just getting rid of all that loose powder with a small brush, and let's move on to setting the contour. And I'm using the shade, this is the shade Gimme Sun. I'm sorry, I was trying to remember. Gimme Sun by MAC, which are my favorite Mineralize skin finish powders out there to set like contour or foundation. They're amazing. And I'm using the blush Flush from Motives to add her the glow and also the blush. So this has like a little shimmer in it, not shimmer, but it's like a frost blush, and it's so beautiful. It gives her that nice glowing cheek, and it just looks perfect with the eye makeup as well. Then I'm gonna set with the Fix Plus by MAC all over, and I am going to apply mascara on her bottom lashes. And I'm using, actually for the mascara, I use the this is just a disposable one, but I use the Push Up Angel mascara from Maybelline. Then for the lips, to finish it off, I use the Chesnut Lip Liner by MAC, and I use, unfortunately, I don't know why I wasn't thinking, I use a limited edition lipstick from MAC, but this one is very similar to the Velvet Teddy from MAC, which is absolutely gorgeous. So you want to make sure that the lipstick is right on top of the lip liner as well, so it gives you that nice amber effect without being too obvious, but rather like fades in and it doesn't look too harsh or like too defined. For the gloss, I use Myth Lip Gloss by MAC, and it's just like the perfect nude. I love this lip gloss. So these are basically the final touches to finalize this makeup look. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial or how I do makeup on someone else. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and I see you guys on my next video. Bye!